Right now in Action 2 News at 10, spring election results unfolding tonight. We're live at the major campaigns across the state.
First Alert Weather Day for Northeast Wisconsin. We're getting the latest update from the First Alert Weather Center.
Plus, Donald Trump in court. He was arraigned in Manhattan on felony charges. What the former president had to say tonight about the case.
From WBAY TV, your First Alert station. Action 2 News at 10 starts now.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Cammie is off tonight. Today's spring election carrying major stakes for Wisconsin. Monumental
shift for the state Supreme Court, which according to projections will be controlled by the Liberals for the first time since 2008. You know the official tally at the moment. Janet Protasiewicz already projected to defeat former Justice Daniel Kelly. We have heard from both of the candidates in turning the majority of the control now of the Wisconsin High Court to its progressive bloc. All that and more in team coverage tonight now that the polls are closed and the results keep coming in. We begin now with the campaign for Judge Janet Protasiewicz in Milwaukee tonight. Jason Zimmerman's been covering that. He has the latest. Jason.
Yeah, Bill, crowd here pretty excited tonight. In fact, they are downright pumped, being on the winning side of what's been a bitter battle for a Wisconsin Supreme Court seat. We just heard from Judge Janet Protasiewicz just a few minutes ago, making her campaign victory speech. Of course, her campaign officially declared victory about an hour after the polls closed tonight. I'm just going to step out of the way so Chris can kind of zoom in. Judge Janet Protasiewicz has been working the crowd out here, thanking her supporters. This was a very decisive victory, and I think the story of the night might be the turnout, especially in places like Dane County, where Protasiewicz captured more than 80% of the vote, at least as of right now. Now, in a victory speech, Protasiewicz thanked her supporters, as I mentioned, and promised to be a fair voice in the court, despite a campaign touting many of her positions, openly supporting abortion rights, and the drawing of election maps which do not favor Republicans, which she says would be a lot more fair. Now the results shift the court's balance of power and threaten a number of Republican-backed laws. Here's a sample of what we just heard at the podium.
I want to thank all of you for being here this evening to celebrate this wonderful victory. Today's results have been over a year in the making. I've been traveling this entire state for the last year. Yeah. I could not have done it without the hard work and dedication of all of you right here in this room.
As far as northeast Wisconsin's concerned, I'm looking at the numbers here on a computer right below the camera here. I can tell you that Kelly did well in much of northeast Wisconsin. However, he needed a good showing in the Fox Valley. That did not happen tonight. As of right now, Kelly lost both Outagamie County and Winnebago County. He lost Outagamie County by just a few thousand votes as of now, I should mention. The impact of that, obviously, it was not enough to offside some really significant losses in Dane County, where Janet Protasiewicz came up with about 80% of the vote, a huge margin, and obviously it was enough to put her over the finish line tonight. So some big changes coming for the court, and what this means for a number of rulings that the court will take up regarding the state's 1849 abortion law, and possibly the redrawing of maps. She could be the deciding factor on a lot of those items. So that is something we'll be keeping an eye on in the months to come. Reporting live in Milwaukee, Jason Zimmerman, Action 2 News.
Jason, thanks. Former Justice Daniel Kelly is at a watch party in Green Lake. He gave his concession speech a little bit ago. Emily Byer joins us live from there. Emily.
Yeah, Brittany, just after 9 o'clock, Dan Kelly took to the stage here at the Heidel House to concede. More than 200 people here giving him a 3-minute standing ovation for his hard-fought race. Kelly talked about being outspent by his opponent, this being the most expensive state judicial race ever. Kelly offering his utmost gratitude to his supporters here and at home, thanking folks for postcards, door knocking, donations, and all of their efforts, ultimately saying he wishes he was conceding to a worthy opponent.
I wish that in a circumstance like this, I would be able to concede to a worthy opponent. But I do not have a worthy opponent to which I can concede. This was the most deeply deceitful dishonorable, despicable campaign I have ever seen run for the courts. And I wish Wisconsin the best of luck, because I think it's going to need it.
This result now breaking a decade-long era of Republican power. Reporting live in Green Lake, Emily Byer, Action 2 News.
Emily, thanks. Another tightly contested race is for Green Bay Mayor. Incumbent Eric Genrich has been challenged by Brown County Director of Administration Chad Weininger. Samantha Cavalli has been covering the Genrich campaign. She's live right now in Green Bay. Samantha.
Yeah, Brittany, as you can kind of hear and see behind me, it's a party here at the Gather on Broadway as we're awaiting Mayor Genrich's arrival. He has not been here yet. He's waiting a little bit closer for those results to come in and through. But, you know, we've had Taylor Swift and Lizzo right now currently behind me. So it's been a pretty big party as we await for his arrival and for those votes to come down. Now, earlier this afternoon, I caught up with Mayor Genrich at his polling location at St. Bernard Catholic Church and School, where he and his wife cast their ballot along with the two children as well. He told me that it has been an honor serving as the mayor of Green Bay for 4 years, and he is hoping he can be elected for another term, focusing on infrastructure and public safety. He said tonight he's hoping for a positive outcome and is proud of the campaign he ran as we get closer to the finish line.
Yeah, I mean, you've always got a little bit of butterflies when your name's on the ballot, but we feel really confident in the campaign that we've run and the feedback that we've received, especially in recent days. Turnout's really strong, which I think is always a good thing. So looking forward to a positive outcome tonight.
And if you guys hear that excitement around me, it sounds like the campaign manager, Mayor Genrich, it sounds like he has won a second term here for re-election as Green Bay mayor. We're going to double check and confirm, but there's hugs all around. Everyone's cheering, super excited, but Mayor Genrich has won a second term. Reporting live in Green Bay, Samantha Cavalli for Action 2 News.
Samantha, thank you again. Those numbers slow in coming in from Green Bay tonight. But Emily Roberts has been following the Weininger campaign for us. She joins us now live in Green Bay with more. Maybe we'll get a better read over there. Emily.
Right, Bill. So Chad Weininger has yet to take the stage to address this most recent news and respond to it, but he did take to the podium just over an hour ago to thank his supporters. And you can see the room is pretty busy behind me. It's absolutely packed with people who are excited to hear from him regardless of what happens. And Weininger mentioning his supporters' willingness to knock on doors, collect signatures, and donate all the way up until polls closed. Action 2 News saw him waving signs on street corners just this afternoon. He says throughout his campaign, he's focused on a few key issues.
What we did is we talked about how do we fix our roads? How do we make our communities more safe? How do we invest in our future, in our kids' future, so they have good economic opportunities while not taxing seniors out of their house and creating affordable housing for everyone in Green Bay with it being not so expensive.
The room has significantly quieted down just over the past 30 seconds, so I'm anticipating a speech from Weininger pretty soon here, as he said he would take to the podium once some preliminary results rolled in. Live in Green Bay, Emily Roberts, Action 2 News.
Emily, thank you. Meanwhile, in Outagamie County, for the race there for the county executive with 99% of the vote, and Tom Nelson going back and will maintain his position as the county executive there. Nelson receiving 56% of the vote to 44% for Kevin Sturm. We're going to step away from our election coverage for just a bit. There are other headlines, of course, we're following today.
One of them is the weather outside on the First Alert Weather Day. We can actually hear the rain up on top of our roof here. Coming down, meteorologist David Ernst has the latest in the First Alert Weather Center. David.
Yes, Brittany, Bill, so far we have not had any warnings issued for the local area, but we do have some strong thunderstorms rolling through earlier on, some pea-size hail downtown Green Bay and elsewhere. A lot of these storms producing pea to dime-size hail. Heavy rainfall through the Green Bay area. In terms of hail threat right now, it's the storm to the north that's got the greatest potential of putting on again some pea-size, maybe up to nickel-size hail. These storms are tracking very quickly off towards the north at around 50 miles per hour. But in addition to the threat for stronger thunderstorms, which is not over, we simply are looking at wave number 1 coming through the Fox Valley. But you can see more storms back down into central Wisconsin. But around the Anago area and northward, the pink on there indicating the ice potential that we were talking about earlier on in the evening. So freezing rain and sleet possible across northern areas. We're on the lookout for more stronger thunderstorms moving in from southern Wisconsin later on tonight. But in the short term, it looks like we don't have much of a high-end severe threat. Just watching that one storm there in Oconto County. But through the rest of the night, or at least for the next few hours, we could see an isolated severe thunderstorm. That would certainly be possible. Heavy rain also a concern with these storms, and across the North Woods, maybe 1/2 of an inch of ice setting up before the night is done. So that's why we have a winter weather advisory for Langlade and northern Oconto and Marinette counties, Forest and Florence. Temperatures there hovering right around freezing. So again, as long as we're 32 or below, whatever's falling is going to stick and create that glaze of ice. Winds have been holding at around 20 miles per hour. They'll be even stronger out of the south tomorrow. That will lead to a brief spell of 60s before the temperatures start dropping in the afternoon. We will talk more about your extended forecast and the ups and downs it contains coming up.
All right, thanks, David. More to come tonight on Action 2 News at 10.
An update on the election results, plus the unprecedented arraignment of a former president of the United States.